What's happening, guys? Dan here, DD Speed Shop. 55 Nomad, I know, try 5. It's really weird, we're working on that today. Anyways, we got a few things on the list. We're getting close to this thing being kind of ready to go do body work, which we're going to do in the other garage. Today I want to focus on exhaust, and I think I want to finish up the front suspension. We did the rear suspension, the leafs, the shocks, and everything on the last video, or a video, I don't know. And now I haven't put the front shocks in yet. I gotta do that. I don't know if everything's cotter pinned and tight. We probably double check that all at once, but we'll get on that. But that's just, we're gonna do it in the video. The big video part today is gonna be the exhaust. Now it does have exhaust on it, but it's just hanging on there with baling wire. So my buddy Josh gave me this exhaust setup. It was on his 55 Chevy gasser, and it fits a little different on my car. So in case you're new or whatever it is, we got I'll get this thing jacked up and all apart, but for right now it's a 350 Chev, aluminum heads, you know, got a cam, all those sort of things. We got a turbo 350, the high stall. Like, it's a nice little setup. Anyways, the exhaust is Fenderwell headers, which run real close to the brake lines. You guys barbecued me in the comments. I have header wrap on order. It's not here yet. I typically kind of hate header wrap. I find it absorbs moisture and rots out headers, but this thing really, it'll be fine, I guess. Anyways, Fenderwell headers and into some down pipes, and then into some like stock car race bullet mufflers and out the side. So as you can see, it's a very simple exhaust system, which I do want to maintain this overall kind of look or vibe. But you can see how it hangs down real low. We have to bring the exhaust up a little bit, probably just 2 or 3 inches. Well, probably 3 inches. If the top of the pipe is where the bottom of the pipe is, or as close as we can get, we should be good. Now these Tri-5s are very, very easy to run side pipes on because the frame is inboard. On, like, you know, Chevelles and all that sort of stuff, the frame is kind of more on the outside, so these are easy to run side pipes on. I like that look. That's what I want to do. I do have some 3-inch pipe out in the snow, I believe, so I got to go drag that in. So we'll get this thing up in the air. We'll start getting it taken apart. We'll get the wheels off. But in all reality, the header will be shortened, probably 2 or 3 inches. We'll then keep that pipe. Well, it's this pipe, funny story about it. Once we get in it, you'll see how many pieces it is well together. This literally came out of the scrap bin of a muffler shop when Josh was putting together on his car. So it's a pile of miscellaneous pieces that we're not really going to use. So we're going to use muffler ahead, get the headers dialed together, get the mufflers in, then we'll just build some straight pipes back and out the side. It'll be a very simple exhaust. These things sound awesome. They're just, oh, they're wicked. I love it. It does have an exhaust leak at the collector, so I don't know if I think I have gaskets I found set, but we got to get those changed, get it hung up properly with some proper muffler clamps or hangers, and it'll be done. It'll be good enough. It'll be a little loud, a little obnoxious, but I freaking love this thing. So I'll get this thing up in the air. We'll get wrenching. So we're up in the air, hood is off. Yeah, honestly, are the brakes even that close to the... Oh yeah, it's close. Oh, I gotta make a proper throttle cable, I guess I really... Oh wow. It's funny what you forget. Anyways, so yeah, we gotta get that taken care of. I got the tire off. Now in here is my thoughts. Now, there's lots of clearance from the tire to the header, which is nice. And we're not changing the header in any way. What we're going to do is where this elbow is, we're just going to bring it up. So that'll bring the exhaust up and actually the muffler a little bit forward, but not enough. I think it'd be very noticeable. I do want to do this with the header on the car, which is kind of a pain because getting around the backside will be tough, but it is what it is. This header was a pain to get not leaking. So I used super thick gaskets and high temperature silicone and let it run and cooled and tightened it, like the whole shebang. It's good now. It does leak here, obviously, because I believe that the gaskets no bueno. Anywho, so we get in, and it's tight in here. When you get in there, you can see all that space. And basically, I'll probably actually end up slicing that motor mount bolt down as skinny as I can. I'll then bring everything up as tight as I can to the floorboard. So I'll measure whatever that is. It'll probably be, we'll call it 2 inches. I'm gonna have that off. I'm gonna cut the muffler away from this pipe. You can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of pipe. So I'll probably use that piece for the kick out though. So we'll cut it right there at the muffler, and then we'll just have like a set of header mufflers type thing for the time being. And then once we get that mounted and I'm happy with it, we'll get another piece of brand new 3-inch pipe and we'll put it on, and we might kick it up a little bit just to keep it as tight as we can before we kick out the side. Thought I'd turn the heater down enough, sorry. Now to mount it, pile of garbage. I bought these a while ago. Now unfortunately I think these are for 2.5-inch pipe, but what I'll probably do is mount them to a body brace or something like that by welding a stud to the brace so it'll stick out. This will slide on, have a nut on it. It's got this insulation or insulator on it, and keep it up real nice and tight. And then, well, these are 3-inch. Yeah, look at that. So you put it on there and then you just kind of weld it on. And then that'll be nice and tight. I have 4. I think I'll probably only use one, probably right at the kick out, wherever it's going to be on the mounts. And then this will kind of dangle freely. That's all I have on my 55. I have side pipes on it with much bigger mufflers. They're well, actually they're those electronic ones now, but Fenderwell headers straight back. I have the mufflers further back on that car, and just one bolt and a hanger. It actually goes into the spring perch on that one, and then a side pipe out. It's a very simple thing. I've never fallen off, never had an issue. I think it's like 1/3 bolt, but solid, simple. That's how I like stuff done. So I will get this cut into pieces, I think, and then we'll come back and we'll start maybe doing the fitment on the tripod. Sounds like a good plan. Well, dilemma after dilemma. So I have chopped this much out, which actually fits pretty good. I actually found a gasket, put it in there, re-silicone it, then I thought I was dumb because now it's all one piece. I shouldn't have done that, but you know, it is what it is. These bolts are actually a pain to get, so whatever. That'll be sealed up real nice. So that's the junk we took out. And here's what the muffler, like, yeah, there ain't much going on in there. But I thought, okay, that's good. Go get the pipe outside, grab it. It's 2.5. I'm an idiot. So that does put a kink in the plan. I mean, I can get the down pipe kind of on and situated, but I was gonna get this just tacked on and then carry on back. So this does fit now. I will tack it on and carry on to the other side. We'll maybe get both sides done so they're down this cleaned up, ready to go. And then tomorrow we'll just put the 3-inch pipe on and it's exit out the side. But yeah, that was a pain because I thought what I'd do, get tacked on, get everything tacked together, then I would break those welds, weld it all together, put it up, bolt it, and then just weld that around. Because it's actually pretty easy to get in here and you got lots of room, so it's no big deal. But yeah, that's a pain. I guess I gotta take better inventory of my stuff. So yeah, I got a 10-foot length, 2.5. But anyway, and I mean, I don't want to put this back on. There's nothing wrong with it, but well, it's terrible. Oh, and for everybody asking, so the reason I'm using all this old junk and these crappy headers and all that, it's just for fun. I like this car. It reminds me exactly of the way Josh's 55 Chevy sounded while we were at Miles Mayhem, which was a blast. And we all had kind of our hand in this thing, cobbling it together and stuff. So it's just good memories. Honestly, if I end up selling this car, I'd like to keep the exhaust and put it on something else. But, and realistically, if anybody buys this car, the first thing I'll want to do is probably take it right to the exhaust shop and go, no, we don't want this. This is a nice car. So yeah, I'm going to take a bit of a break, have a little supper, regroup, and then we'll come back out and we'll start doing the exact same thing on the other side. Maybe I'll just kind of fast motion it. So we'll get both those together, probably tacked up tonight. Go through cotter pin everything. I don't even have bolts in the tie rod adjuster sleeves. I mean, there's no cotter pins, there's no nothing. So we'll go through and double check the whole front end tight, so it's 100% done, and then we can carry the exhaust, tailpipes, and all that tomorrow. just like that. Exhaust is cut off. Everything got cotter pinned. You don't trust me on it, but I did it all, so we're good. Front end's tight. I think tomorrow what I'm gonna do is I have all this 2.5 stuff because I guess block car must have been 2.5. Anywho, I think what I'm gonna do. This has to be welded onto the header, so I might sleeve it with 3-inch, and then the back side where the muffler is, same idea. If I weld on a 3-inch like that, so it'd be 3-inch ID. If I welded it on like that, then I could just slip on the tailpipe, or whatever you want to call it, then maybe just clamp it so it could actually come apart. And then, obviously up there, weld it. So it'd be done. It'd just be easier to kind of weld on the outside of something versus trying to make that cut and that cut perfect. I don't have those skills, but I do have the skills to put one of those on there and burn it together, so it won't look the prettiest. And honestly, I could probably cut one of these in half and just use like kind of that much, and just some meat to grab onto. So these tomorrow, muffler clamps tomorrow, 3-inch exhaust tomorrow. I need some 3/8 washers tomorrow. We got a list of things to do tomorrow, but we'll finish it tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Alright, next day. Hit up Canadian Tire. Zip discs were on sale. 70% off. That's how you know you're doing good. Anyways, I got a few of these adapters, so they're 3-inch inside diameter. I did get a length of pipe that's on the ground there. So what we're going to do, we're going to weld one of these onto the back and essentially turn this muffler back into a muffler. So what I'm going to do, weld it on, then the tailpipe can slide in, and then we can just clamp it on and adjust that any which way we want. I'll probably then cut one of these in half, and on the front side, not any ideas here, just holding with my legs. If I just use half of it, we can just sleeve it a little, and then we'll have something nice to weld on. Instead of having to try to match this angle to what's on the car, we can put it on and we have all this adjustment. So that's the plan. But this adapter can go on the back. Right now we're just going to flush mount it, burn it in. I'll try and make it somewhat straight. Yeah, then we'll get it kind of mounted. We'll cut that other piece cut up. See where we end up. It should be pretty straightforward ×2 process. So this is my new header muffler. We got the bottom piece on, so it looks just like a regular glass pack, but I just tacked this little ring on and just kind of giving it, this might be too long, but essentially the header can just fit in like that, and then we have some adjustment any which way we want, so we can get perfect placement. So I'll probably put it on the car and tuck it up as high as I can, give it a few little welds, just kind of hold it, and we'll carry on with the tailpipe section and go from there. And then, you know, we can easily weld this. I'll break the tacks on the top, weld that in nice, and then we'll have to weld this on the car, unfortunately, but it's brand new steel. The header is fairly thick, so should be able to put the heat to it. Just weld it up real nice on the muffler. So yeah, put it together, we'll do it again a second time. Alright, so let me give you guys a little bit of a tour here. So I've got the pipe that we had just welded on, well, just a couple of tacks with this little sleeve, so that's That's where you want it. I got the light at the back, but it's right up tight. As tight as we're going to be able to get, so that's awesome. I can now break those welds. I will weld that in completely. I'll clean that up real nice so that when we put it back on the next time, it'll be permanente. And then, so that's my chunk of 3-inch pipe, or what's left of it, I should say. Oh, the old man knee crack. So we go out there. Now it's loose in there. That's where we're going to have a clamp on. It's going straight back. Now, bear with me. Now this can obviously go up, eh? Unfortunately, the floor, or the jackson I took was the small one, and doesn't give enough height. I put on this little dump out the side just with 2 tacks. I think I'm going to leave it there. So we're going to tuck this up. That's into the body, so we'll drop it down just that much. I don't know. I think it gives a pretty good little setup. Now this, we're gonna, it's hard to see in there, but right here is a body mount. So I put a stud on there, and then that I can weld on there, and just 1 bolt, hold it on right at the back. Lots of strength. I'm gonna weld this on. I'm gonna weld the front of the header on, or the downpipe I should say. I'll put a clamp on there. I was thinking I might paint just the tailpipe. Like leave the muffler and then paint back here some high temp paint. That'd be kind of cool. I really liked how on Finnegan's 55 he had gold headers. That was kind of neat. I don't know if we'll go gold, but black or white or whatever Canadian Tire has. I'll run out after supper. But anyways, I'm going to pull this off. Like I said, buzz that together. We'll get her set back up. And essentially this side will be, well, done. Alright, well, a little new, a little old, but pretty simple. It's got a little kick out, it's got a little hanger. Obviously it's white. I love white headers and all that. Never last. They always end up burn off. It's a pretty new pipe. I then clean the muffler up, so you can see up there. Give it a coat of the VHT white. Now I do have on order, I don't know if I said earlier or not in the video, but I have header wrap, and I got white header wrap, which ultimately will turn into gray and oily mess, but for the time being it'll start off looking white. So come on, light. I got white from that part back, and this here I'll end up wrapping, I believe. I got 2 rolls of it. So originally I got just to get under the exhaust, but I think, or brake, but I think I'll wrap the whole deal. I don't know if I'll go all the way up. I'll probably just wrap it to about, here-ish or something like that. I don't know if I'll do each individual pipe. That gets very tedious, but keep the whole meat of it. I'll then move this at the same time and then do both sides, and it'll give the impression of, kind of from the side, wrapped white. It'll get beat up full of water, rain, stones, and then white at the back. I'm hoping, I did heat that up with the torch. I just ran a torch in, heated it up, sprayed it on, then ran it over again to kind of give it its little first cycle. But I'm thinking, usually what happens when you fire up on the header, it gets so hot it just burns and flakes right off. But being on the exhaust all the way back here, it might actually have a more even bake on it. I love it. I gotta say, I enjoy it. I'm missing a clamp in the center, obviously. I don't have that. And, I mean, for right now it's fine. When I paint it, I can just take it off of the headers, and then the whole piece will come right off. It's kind of cool. I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. But I got the other piece on the workbench. So more of the same. We're going to, you know what we're going to do? Oh yeah, I got to clean this up. Put the little end on it. Lengthen that. It's getting late, but we're going to get this dialed together, and I think the other side will get at least cut, measured, and painted. Hopefully. So we got our pieces cut. I actually already have them hung on the other side, but just to show you, we're going to try and make this somewhat symmetrical. I mean, this is a bit of a cobbled together exhaust, especially with the headers being all chopped up. But basically, we know, by looking at it, kind of right there is where the pipe ends, and we have our little kick out. This exhaust had a couple of these, so that's what I use, just this little kick out. This one doesn't have as much meat on it, but it'll do something like that. We'll trim it to fit. So I'll end up measuring from the wheel well ahead where the pipe would be, and then we'll have our little dump off to the side just to kind of give it a cool look and get the exhaust away from the car. So I just use a floor jack, I put it where I want, and then put a couple ugly tack welds to hold it. I will break that off and obviously clean that up and weld it all on. But now we'll just measure from the muffler, and inside, obviously you got to go that 2 inches inside the sleeve to about how far back we want to go. I'll cut the piece of pipe, we'll get that test fit, we'll get the dump on the side, we'll put it in there, we'll weld up the little stud for the hanger, and go. I wish I could show you the hanger a little better, but it's up there so tight, it's hard to do. So maybe this one I'll have it all partial, I don't know. We'll see. It works. I mean, it's a bolt welded to a floor brace, and just use it as a stud. Just that simple. Okay, so we got the kind of tailpipe and then the header piece kind of ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these a coat of paint tonight, and then I'll let them kind of dry or whatever, and then we'll deal with it tomorrow morning because give a little bit of dry time. I always get fingerprints and all that on them. So we use this VHT. I'm sure you guys seen it at every auto parts center anywhere. So you paint it on. It's like some kind of ceramic coating or something like that. It actually needs heat to cure. What I find works is you actually kind of preheat the pipe a little bit, and then it actually lays down real nice. It doesn't have a runs and stuff like that. It dries like a matte finish right away. It'll probably take 2 coats, so we'll preheat it, we'll blast it, we'll heat it some more, and blast it some more. At least that's my plan. So it's been a couple minutes. It's kind of dry to the touch, so putting a little bit of heat in it helps. I did brake clean these and clean them up as best I could. I mean, it's old used pipe. Well, some of it is anyways. So we got 2 coats on it. Now, this stuff, when you read the instructions, you're supposed to like start the car, let it run for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, and like 5, then 10, it just slowly kind of bakes its way on. So we're just going to basically get the first step done by putting some heat to it, just so it kind of cures on there. And then we'll put a little more touch up, maybe once it's on the car, and then once it's running, it'll be fine. And again, this is actually meant for the headers to get all that direct heat, so it'll be a slow baking process. I'm hoping it doesn't just kind of flake off, because that would look kind of terrible, but yeah, if it does, I'll just fogger black. There you have it. So it's, I mean, it's definitely hot to the touch. I mean, I don't know, it's like a hot cup of coffee type thing. You can hold your hand on it, but you don't really want to. So we'll let that kind of cure for a little bit. That'll be like step one. Hopefully it'll be dry enough that we can work it tomorrow with some gloves, just some medical kind of rubber gloves. Get it set in. Should be pretty simple. I do got to grind the tip of this, and we got to weld the muffler up, which is pretty simple, but we'll do that tomorrow. I do have to take the fender off. So yeah, let us dry overnight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Next day, as you can see, the pipes are not hanging anymore. Got the welder pulled halfway around. Pipe's on. Now, this one, if you see, the pipe is kind of cocked over. That header was all bent. This one is not, or maybe this one's bent. But if you see where it's going out real far, it actually wants to almost be right under the rocker. So we have it at that angle just to get it right on the inside of the rocker. This one fits much tighter for some reason. I mean, it's not touching, but she close. All the way back, you know, same thing. I'm happy with it. It's not quite as symmetrical at the tailpipe side to side, but you can only see one side at a time. So obviously we got the fender off. So I'm gonna weld all around in here. That'll get nice and hot. Then we'll blast this with a little bit of white paint, and then I think put some nuts and bolts on the tailpipes, and then right here we'll put a clamp on it. All reality, I probably should have welded that, then had it actually come apart here and at the back. Unbolt that, the whole thing will slide back, but that's a future Dan problem. Hopefully this exhaust, well, I guess it will be coming off at some point, but I do like when exhaust comes apart in pieces. In my experience, when it has to come apart, it's a pain. So that, yeah, we'll do that. We'll fire it up, we'll see how it sounds. We'll let it kind of heat up, do its thing, drive outside, take a thumbnail. The header wrap's supposed to be here later today. That'll be another video. I think that'd be kind of a cool, just how-to video of header wrap. And honestly, I'll give you my take on it. I'm not a big fan of it, but we need it in this situation, and it's easy to take the fenders off and make that happen. Get the tires back on. Yeah. Okay, let's get welding. Got her back together. Instructions say for headers, run for 10 minutes at idle. It's not too windy here. 10 minutes at idle, and then let it cool, and then fire it up, let it run for like 20 minutes at idle, then cool. Kind of irrelevant. I'm using my little heat gun because the instructions for baking in the oven say 400 degrees. So I got the exhaust, like the muffler is probably around 300, so we'll let that go for a bit, and then the tailpipes will be what they're going to be. But sounds good. She's a rowdy little small block. So, anyways, it's hard to see in here with the all the fumes. That's where we're gonna leave it for right now. I gotta run out. I actually gotta get gas. Gotta get some propane, and we'll let this thing cool off for a bit. We'll move stuff out of the driveway. We'll drive it outside. We'll let it run a little bit more, and that's where we're gonna end this video. Once the exhaust is all kind of taken care of, I said it'll cool off, and then maybe tonight, if I get that header wrap on time, start wrapping them headers. But yeah, no. This shitty old exhaust was worth every bit of, well, I didn't spend much money. I put one 10-foot length of pipe, which was like nothing. One gasket I had lying around, and a couple of hangers I had lying around. So 40 bucks, and like a day's worth. Oh, the paint was 40 bucks too. High temp paint, but let's be honest. White exhaust, how cool is that? A lot of people on Instagram already said it's not their deal. I love it. What are your thoughts? Love it or hate it? Okay, down the ground. Let's drive this thing outside. I haven't shoveled much. There's a big pile of snow. Fire it up. Let it idle outside. We can bake the exhaust a little bit more. And unfortunately, it's very windy out, which is bringing in the warm air. But in the meantime, It's very cold. Alright, let's make it happen. Oh, nice. Foot of snow. Alright, contact. Oh, battery has to be hooked up. Alright, here we go. There we have it. So we're gonna let the old girl warm up for a little bit outside. Actually, I forgot. I only have I don't even know how many lug nuts I have on the back, but not many. Oh, a little glove in the shot there. It's so windy out, but sounds good, eh? So I left the one fender off. You gotta do it for the thumbnail, and then this side I gotta still gotta do a thumbnail for the springs for the new stance we have. And then once it's done, we'll let it kind of cool off a little bit, not too much. We can back it back in. I don't want the issue starting it. And then we'll start wrapping the headers once Amazon shows up with the stuff I need. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, like the video, subscribe, whatever the heck it may be. If you don't like 55 Chevys, small block Chevys with Fenderwell headers, stock car mufflers, I mean all that good side pipes, I mean come on. There's something wrong with you, not me. Anyways, that's it for now. I will see you on the next video, which is gonna start in a few hours for me, wrapping headers. After that, I wanna go through this thing. I think we're gonna take all the trim off, last little bit of welding here and there, and I think it's gonna go next door. The compressor I want is on sale at Princess Auto starting tomorrow or the day after. Hopefully I get one, not a big line. And then we can start lathering this thing with body filler for primer and paint. But who knows? I want to work something else. See you guys later.